Hello and welcome from Budapest. This is Hungary Reports from Public Media M1, bringing you the latest news from Hungary and the Carpathian Basin in English. I'm Árpád Szőci. Great that you can be with us. The EU Commissioner for Migration, Home Affairs and Citizenship has called on member states to honor the Malta Agreement, which asks them to take in migrants based on a quota system. However, the Hungarian government hasn't changed its position, saying there's no need for a quota system, and it does say that it is ready to help get migrants off the continent.
We're looking to get as many member states involved as possible,
said the Minister of Interior of Finland before the meeting of the Home Affairs Council. Finland currently holds the presidency of the EU. The commissioner responsible for refugees was also hopeful in coming to the meeting. Dimitris Avramopoulos said that he hopes each member state will show solidarity and carry out the agreement that was signed by Italy, Germany, France and Malta at the end of September. The Hungarian government's standpoint has not changed. We should not bring migrants here, but instead take illegal migrants out of the territory of Europe, reacted István Hólik to the statement by Dimitris Avramopoulos. The migrant quota that is threatening member states in European cities, as well, is on the agenda again. However, I wish to confirm to you that the government of Hungary won't change its position and we won't accept any compulsory resettlement quota, the spokesperson said. He added that the declaration of the commissioner reaffirms that the outgoing commission would like to spend its last weeks enforcing the compulsory resettlement quota.
The government debt of Hungary has dropped below 70%, which is a milestone. It means that Hungary has paid off debt it accrued during the economic crisis of the past decade, while also paying off the money that was borrowed by the ruling socialist government at the time, led by Ferenc Gyurcsány. According to the Ministry of Finance, the most important point is that while debt is shrinking, Hungary's economic growth is among the highest on the continent, and that GDP is growing not because of funds borrowed.
A new factory by one of the world's biggest packaging material manufacturing companies is being built in Debrecen. The German giant Dufo will create 120 new jobs, with its investment of almost 21 million euros. The new factory will not only be high-tech, but also the regional center for the Southeast European Dufo Group. Just like before, the Hungarian economy is boosted by domestic consumption, as well as by investments. The economy grew by 5.1% last year, 5.2% in the first semester of 2019, and it will presumably boast of a 4.6% growth for the whole year. The government expects the economy's dynamism to keep up next year as well. The State Secretary of the Ministry of Finance pointed out that if visible signs of the slowdown in the world economy show their effects in Hungary as well, then the government would take new measures in order to maintain economic growth that is far beyond the EU average. It also helps this process that public debt has continually decreased since 2010. What exceeded 80% of GDP in 2011 last year almost reached the threshold of 70%, and today even went below this rate. That hasn't happened since just before the economic crisis of the previous decade. Furthermore, it's also particularly important that the foreign currency rate within public debt has decreased from 52% at the end of 2011 to half of this rate to 21%. The introduction of Hungarian government securities plus bonds has played a significant role in this. By Monday, almost 6.6 billion euros had been accumulated by the new securities. This way, the previous 65% of foreign investors has decreased significantly to 35%. The exceptional development in the European Union also contributes to the so-called exposedness to foreign currency and to the moderation of outside vulnerability. It is a rare achievement when economic growth is above the average, significantly exceeding the average of the European Union. Accordingly, the public debt decreases also, and inflation can be held down. It is very rare in practice. It is only possible with outstanding economic performance, the State Secretary of the Ministry of Finance said. Continuous GDP growth now also enables small and medium-sized companies to apply for almost 15 million euros of support for development. Only those companies can apply who undertake not to fire anyone over a 3-year period of time and increase employees' wages by 10% each year.
Hungary and Brazil are facing big opportunities for economic cooperation and development. That's what the Hungarian Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister said at a Brazilian-Hungarian trade forum in São Paulo. Híradó said that Brazil is Hungary's second most significant trading partner in South America. 430 million euros worth of trade between the two countries took place last year. And there are also 50 Hungarian-owned firms in Brazil involved in major economic sectors. A unique healthcare instruction and research institute has opened in Budapest. It specializes in teaching non-invasive medical techniques, such as treating tumors with heat, cold, radiology, and other methods. These have already been used with quite some success abroad, and now, for the first time, they can also be used in this region of Europe.
The newest surgery-free method was displayed by a doctor from the Premier Med Health, Training and Research Institute. This establishment recently opened its doors. It has, in contrast to traditional surgery, pursued medical techniques that concentrate on treating tumors with heat and cold, as opposed to surgery. These methods are unmatched in Eastern and Central Europe. This innovative method is fast, pain-free, and safe. Moreover, complications arising from surgery are more avoidable in utilizing and applying these other methods. We can perform surgeries through pin-sized holes without the need for inpatient care. Operations which previously required large incisions, inpatient stays, as well as possible waiting periods of several months, are now addressed in a novel way, Ákos Páldeák said. At the Institute, this technique is not only utilized by those working there, it's also taught. For example, med students can watch and follow the procedures that unfold in this operating theater while the instructor explains the process. These techniques will be used routinely in a few years in every hospital and in every country. Currently, these techniques are not being utilized routinely even abroad. Moreover, in Hungary, these forms and practices are wholly unique. The president said, according to the director of the institute, almost 3 million euros were spent on this investment. It's aimed at providing health, training, and research, but also to help convince young healthcare professionals that it's worth their while to stay in the country. In the future, specialists wish to make ample use of these non-invasive techniques for treating cancer.
A new record low temperature was set in Hungary on Tuesday. Minus 6.2 Celsius was recorded in Híradó near the Romanian border. That's the coldest ever for October 8th since records began being kept more than 100 years ago. The previous record was back in 2012 in the town of Zabar, where it was minus 3.6. And there might be more minus temperatures again on Wednesday. But the cold snap won't last long. Meteorologists predict Indian summer-like weather for the upcoming weekend, with temperatures reaching up to 25 degrees. One of the little-known high points at the resort town of Balatonfüred is the Holy Cross found on nearby Tomás Mountain, which rises 300 meters above the town. The Christian symbol was blessed back in October of 2006 and was the brainchild of a local businessman who saw something similar in Bavaria in southern Germany. And from the lookout point at Balatonfüred, you get a great view of nearby Tihany Peninsula and Lake Balaton. An art event in the western city of Zalaegerszeg called Correlation Gaming, the Art of Carelessness and Its Contradictions, has opened at the Gönci Gallery. It features the works of artist Katja Pál, who believes in having her creations try to communicate with the viewer. Her works spill over from the canvas in trying to get viewers more involved. The collection includes works by her never before seen on public display. And that's all for now. But we'll be back again the next night live right after the news in Hungarian at 11 p.m. local time. You can also catch us in repeats and online. Please stay tuned now if you can for our new shows in German, Russian, and Chinese. Thanks very much for watching and minden jót.